Hey guys, today I'm here to talk about the new items Scorpius brought in. Now, not the new enchants, since those are not too impressive, but mainly the Midas staff, the Hegemony artifact, and the Plasma nucleus, which crafts into the Plasmaflux, because these items will be disappearing in a few days. Basically, 3 days from now, or when this video goes live, they'll be gone, and only players will be able to sell them until Scorpius happens to be re-elected again at some point. So, should you get these items? That is the question I think a lot of people want to know, because they are pretty pricey. Around now, most of them are hovering around a 40, 50 mil price. I bought mine when they were much more expensive, mind you. But as we get closer and closer to the end of the event, their prices will increase and increase and increase until the event ends. Then their price will just keep going up. Like, it won't stop. So, they might be 50 mil now, but give it a week, give it 2 weeks, it'll be 100, 150, maybe even 200 mil. Who really knows? But it all depends on how impressive they are. So let's start out with the talisman, which to me is one of the key items to go for out of the three. Why a talisman, you might ask? Well, one, it is a base legendary talisman that you can recombine into mythic, and how the talisman functions is it doubles your stats on the reforge. So that is really good. As you can see, compared to my other talismans, it gives 24, 24, and 8 instead of giving 12, 12, and 8, or 4. So it is really good. I think it's worth every penny, and if you're limited on coins, this is definitely something you want to pick up, since once this goes away, you might never be able to get it again for a long time. And it's a very powerful talisman, one of the few legendary talismans we have in the game currently. So definitely something you want to pick up, and it's just really good, in my opinion. I think anyone would say that. So next, we have the Midas staff. Now, if you've been to my stream at all, we've been testing this thing a lot, mind you, and it is really, really good. It is better than I thought, but there's kind of little caveat to that, or caveat. It has really low left click stats. As you can see, it only has 130 damage, 90 strength base. Now that is about equivalent to the the flower weapon mage has, Spirit Scepter, but it also has very low base intelligence, which is a bit of an issue considering it's a magic damage weapon. Now the Molten Wave skill is very good. If you haven't seen the skill yet, it's just like a little, like a gold layer kind of blocks flying forward. Pretty good skill, but again, it struggles in some scenarios, and even in some spots it doesn't even work properly because of just how it bugged with carpets and stuff like that. But it melts bosses. I can say it's really good just from experiencing. Now this is something I've suggested, but it does need to be balanced in this is just my opinion, but if you look at the bottom, the greed perk. So if you spent up to 100 mil, it gets 16k ability bonus, which then gets amplified by your intelligence. But even as a base weapon, Midas staff destroys Yeti. Well, not really destroys, but it just destroys it because of how the ability works. But even if you bought at 100k Midas staff, it would probably outperform a Yeti, like easily. So that's an issue. I think they might I hope they might change it to where the bonus only, they take away more from the base, and as you get more and more up to the 100 mil, bonus, that it will cap, the cap will be higher and the base weapon will be weaker, but all in all it'll be better, so, more coins sunk and stuff like that. But this item, regardless of that, performs really well, and if you play mage, if you want to have a nice, easy time defeating mini bosses, I don't want to get an ice, you might as well just get an ice spray at this point. If you don't get Midas staff, just pick up an ice spray. Performs probably just as well and actually stops the bosses, but this pushes away mini bosses as well, which is something to think about. So finally, we're on to my favorite item, the Plasmaflux. Now, you guys might not know my history with Overfluxes, but we go ham whenever they come out, essentially. I think we bought one of the first few that were being sold. It was expensive. It was like 150, some 160 mil at the time, and that was a lot of money back then. 150 mil nowadays is literally nothing, but back last year, like 1 year ago, that was a lot of coins. But should you pick this up? Out of the three, I think it's definitely the least priority one for most players. Now, if you're running in a party, like a decent party, at least one person, especially a healer, should have it. So I wouldn't be too worried. But if you yourself wanna pick it up just so you get that extra nice buff, I think it's worth every penny. And why is it worth every penny? Well, compared to the Overflux, which I think is the best way to compare it, is looking at the Overflux recipe, because it provides a little bit more stats. As you can see from the comparison, Overflux gives you 100% base mana, while the Plasmaflux gives you 120%, so it's literally 25% increase. Heals 0.5% more, yet 2.5% more healing, which is actually pretty massive, because healing is really important in endgame content currently, primarily dungeons and myth event, because if you're not healing, you are not surviving the content, period. And it gives 10 more strength. So, all in all, 10 strength for 50 mil, that's not too bad considering the Hegemony talisman gives you like what, 24 strength, and you get a bunch of other buffs, and the mana regen is very nice. Sadly, they didn't extend the buff duration or lower the mana cost to place. I think that would have been a very nice touch, because as mage, it feels very bad placing this item. It spends like 4 or 5k mana, or it's expensive. It does feel very bad to place it down in those situations. So those are my thoughts on the 3 items, and do you really need them? Well, I don't think you really need any of these besides the talisman. Talisman, you better go buy that talisman or you are being silly. Besides that though, I've had a lot of fun using the Midas staff. It is a lot more powerful than I thought. As I've already said, the Plasmaflux is pretty cool. If you haven't seen it, here's what it looks like too, which is kind of amazing. Like, it's pretty flex if you come to a lobby and see this, like, ooh, look at this. And there will come a day, months from now, maybe it's got like, they release a new update, new island, and new players will see, your Midas staff, your Plasmaflux, and be like, wow, what are these cool items? And then maybe one day it'll come back to Scorpius. Heck, even from another special election, there might be some brand new items that come out that are very similar to this, which, I think that'd be pretty cool, but I think we are quite a ways away from getting the other 2 special mares, so we're going to have to wait and see. But all in all, that's my thoughts on the new Dark Auction items besides the enchants. I already gave my thoughts on those before, and they're not really like too impressive anyway besides Vicious. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, maybe leave a like on the video or subscribe. I'm trying to do daily live streams and also upload every so often, so if you want to stay tuned for that, go ahead and do that. And also leave a comment, tell me if you enjoyed the video, or if you got an idea for me, something like that, or maybe message me on Discord about it. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.